Welcome back for that song. Hey, we're ringing in the new year with the bells of freedom and liberty. Happy New Year to everybody. Welcome back to the Patrick Ricken Show here on the Libertarian Lighthouse Radio Network and News Talk 98.7 WOKI. I just realized during that last segment, I didn't tell you where you can sign up to support this lawsuit by Rand Paul against the NSA. He mentioned it real quickly, but if you're on Facebook, you can go to his personal Facebook account, his personal page. It's at facebook.com/Rand Paul. That's facebook.com/Rand Paul. His name is spelled RANDPAUL. And just like our show's Facebook account, you don't have to be a member of Facebook to see the page. Just type in that website, facebook.com/Rand Paul. They have a website for this too. It's Rand, RAND -2016, Rand 2016. Kind of tells you a little bit about what he's planning for 2016, doesn't it? But that's where you can go to sign up for more information on what he's doing there. If you listen to this show much, you know we're following the plight of Edward Snowden pretty closely, and mainly because he exposed what we had suspected for a very long time. The NSA has been spying on us, and it's still going on right now. The NSA is spying on us while I'm talking, while you're sitting there listening. That's another reason I implore you, make this new year, make 2014, make this the year you get active in managing your government, your employees. They're running amok. No one is minding the store. Well, actually, I guess that's not totally accurate. It's more like the foxes are guarding the hen house. And I don't mean foxes like pretty girls in bikinis. But before I get distracted down that road, which is a nice road, but for a radio show, not really a good topic. I mean, really, who wants to talk about girls in bikinis if you can't see them? So let's get on to this segment before we run out of show, shall we? The story ran on BuzzFeed this week about some members of Congress starting to come around after the New York Times ran an editorial that addressed Edward Snowden and how what he did wasn't bad, how we might should give him a break. Briefly from the story on BuzzFeed is a few members of Congress are now saying that they believe the government should attempt to work out a deal to return Edward Snowden to the United States. The National Security Agency's loudest critics have remained largely quiet on what should happen to Snowden, the former contractor who leaked documents. But after the New York Times editorial board called for clemency for Snowden, several members of Congress have said that the United States should at least be flexible when dealing with him. Yeah, leave it to those Congress people to get out in front. They wait until the New York Times editorial board says something, and then they're all over it. I've come to the conclusion that he's more of a whistleblower than a villain. That was Massachusetts Democrat Jim McGovern told BuzzFeed. I've kind of wrestled with his actions for quite some time because part of me would like to think that in this country there is a process in place where people can do the right thing and not get punished for it. The more I learn about his particular case, I'm not sure there was a process in place where he could have presented what he found out and actually changed things. I'd rather have him in the U.S. than have him in Russia, and maybe there is an opportunity to work out some sort of deal, he added. I think the outrage people in the administration have expressed towards Edward Snowden ought to be more focused on how the NSA broke privacy laws. Exactly. Hello? Listen to this show much, Mr. McGovern? You'd have a lot better ideas about working in Congress if you did. McGovern tweeted on Thursday that the Times editorial was, quote, thoughtful, and that he, quote, agreed with much of it. Florida Representative Alan Grayson went further, tweeting simply, give him clemency, along with a link to a story about Snowden. Democratic Representative Peter Welch of Vermont said the U.S. should be more flexible with Snowden and was sharply critical of the NSA's actions. Snowden may have violated a law, but the NSA violated the Constitution, and when you acknowledge that, then just throwing the book at Snowden and turning a blind eye to the NSA is not a good outcome. So I do believe that we should show some flexibility here that takes into account what he did and how he did it, and takes into account what the NSA did and how they did it. McGovern, that's Democrat McGovern, or Democrat Jim McGovern, which I mentioned earlier, said that he believed if the administration did not do something to reform some of NSA's programs, it would be incumbent upon Congress to do so. I'm not saying Edward Snowden's a hero, but more and more I learn about the overreach by the NSA and how privacy was trampled. I think it's outrageous. I'll say it. Edward Snowden is a hero. He has exposed what was happening after hitting brick wall after brick wall trying to alert people within the NSA. This man threw away everything he had, his job, his country, his girlfriend, his freedom, everything. He did what 99.9% of this people of this country wouldn't do. How do I know that? Because spying is going on right now, and no one else has been stepping up to stop it. Everyone else in that agency is just showing up and taking their paycheck and violating our constitutional rights. We are up on the end of the show, frustratingly so. If you want more information about us, go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/Patrick Riggin Show, facebook.com/Patrick Riggin Show. Also, our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Patrick Riggin Show. And you can also email us, patrickrigginshow@gmail.com. Or you can send us a Carter letter to WOKI. Remember, liberty begins with you in your mind. Join me next Saturday afternoon at 4. We'll be fighting for freedom, liberty, and the restoration of the Constitution. Thanks for listening, and have a great week.
Like a man just released from indenture.
Join us again next week for a solid dose of truth on The Patrick Riggin Show.